Good afternoon, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your afternoon video blog for July 28, 2014, Monday around 5:35 in Billerica, Massachusetts. Some news to report. Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar for $8.5 billion. It's also National Milk Chocolate Day in the United States, and it's been confirmed a tornado touched down on Revere, Massachusetts today, causing extensive damage but no significant injuries. My prayers go out to the families affected in the tornado, and hopefully Revere rebuilds and prospers in this time of need, okay? And also, tonight at 6 o'clock is the Market Baskets Board of Directors meeting. It's an emergency meeting, and hopefully RDT could get his company back. He has to. He will. This has to end sooner or later, because RDT is the only one who could bring back Market Basket and let it prosper. The other people who are in charge of it just want to keep Market Basket profit to themselves, okay? And RDT. And my next video blog is my personality profile about former Major League Baseball player Tony Conigliaro. Tony Conigliaro was a local hero in Massachusetts who played for the Boston Red Sox over 40 years ago, and he was a great ball player. He was born in Revere, Massachusetts, and he grew up in the North Shore, and he played baseball at St. Mary's High School in Lynn, Massachusetts. He graduated in 1962, and that same year he signed with the Boston Red Sox. He only spent 1 year in the minor leagues in 1963, and he had a .363 average, and he had 24 home runs, and he was promoted to the Boston Red Sox in 1964 as an outfielder at the age of 19 years old, and his first time at Fenway Park he hit a home run. In 1964 his stats were he batted .290, 24 home runs, 52 RBIs. He played 111 games, but he got injured in August and September with hand injuries and foot injuries, and he didn't win Rookie of the Year in the American League. 1965 he led the American League with 32 home runs. And he was the youngest home run champion of all time in the American League. He reached 100 home runs, the fastest of all American League players at the time. And he played in the 1967 All-Star game as an outfielder for the Red Sox. But on August 18th, 1967, Tony Conigliaro's career was changed forever when he was hit with a pitch from Jack Hamilton of the California Angels. There was rumors that pitch was a spitball, and it hit Tony Conigliaro in the face. He suffered a fractured cheekbone, dislocated jaw, and most of all, he suffered severe damage to his retina in his left eye, and his career was never the same, and his life was never the same. He was rushed to the hospital, and luckily his life was saved because they had the batting helmet, but they didn't have the ear flap back in 1967. They had the helmet, but they didn't have the ear flap, which if they had the ear flap back then, he would have probably been okay. But, Tony Conigliaro got so much support in his recovery and stuff, and he missed 1.5 seasons playing for the Red Sox. In 1968, he had kind of vision problems, but it got a little better. He was going to try to come back for the Red Sox in 1968 as a pitcher, but that didn't pan out because of his vision problems. He somehow in 1969 came back to play, and he hit 20 home runs and 82 RBIs. He was named American League Comeback Player of the Year. And in 1970, he had his best season with 36 home runs and 116 RBIs. But after 1970, the Boston Red Sox traded him to the California Angels, where he suffered, some vision problems and stuff. And he only played in 74 games with the Angels, 222 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs, and then he quit. And then for the next 3.5 years, Tony was trying to make a comeback. In 1975, he made a comeback to the Red Sox, but that did not last long. He was trying to make it as a designated hitter. He played a few games for the Red Sox, but they sent him down to Pawtucket because of his recurring vision problems, which, sucked because he was trying to make a comeback, and then he just retired from baseball. His career statistics: .264 batting average, 166 home runs, and 516 RBIs. If that pitch never happened in 1967 to Tony Conigliaro, I bet Tony Conigliaro would have probably had over 500, maybe 600 home runs. He'd probably be a Hall of Famer, and who knows, maybe the Red Sox would have won the 1967 World Series, the 1975 World Series. He was that good of a hitter, Tony Conigliaro. He hit a lot of clutch home runs. Then Tony Conigliaro jumped into the sports broadcasting field. At first, he took a job at WJAR TV 10 in Providence, Rhode Island, as a sportscaster for about a year from 1975 to 1976. Then from 1976 through 1981, Tony Conigliaro moved to the West Coast, San Francisco, to take a job as a sportscaster on KGO Channel 7, which is an ABC-owned and operated station. In 1982, Tony Conigliaro was going back to Boston to try out to become a Red Sox color man on WSBK TV 38. He called a simulator game with Ned Martin at SBK Studios around wintertime in 1982, and it was rumors he was so good he was going to be offered a job. While his brother was driving Tony home back to the airport, Tony suffered a massive heart attack, and he was rushed to the hospital. While suffering while he was getting recovered from a heart attack, he suffered a stroke, which left Tony in a coma and in a vegetated state for the rest of his life, 8 years. He had to live with his brothers, and he had to live with his parents in North Shore, but his health deteriorated so bad, and in 1990, Tony Conigliaro passed away at the age of 45, which was very sad because he was a hometown hero for the Boston Red Sox, but his life after that heart attack and stroke at the same time just, went downhill, and it's sad. But Tony Conigliaro is in the Red Sox Hall of Fame. He was one of their first chartered members in 1995, and there's always a push to get Tony Conigliaro's number 25 retired by the Boston Red Sox, but that has fallen flat for years and years, and the Red Sox policy on retiring numbers, that they have to be a Hall of Famer or an extraordinary case like Johnny Pesky's number 6 in 2008. But Tony Conigliaro should have had his number retired as when he passed away, because it's it's a tribute to a hometown hero for the Red Sox. He grew up in the North Shore of Boston. It's just he could have been a Hall of Fame player if that thing never happened in 1967. But those things happen, and we have to deal with it. Okay, my third and final video blog of the night is going to be coming up, and I'm going to talk about a local Billerica Access television show called Cosmos Journal. Okay, have a good day, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. See you tonight.